Hey, this is Retired Geek Woman with a preview of Adventures with Rhiannon coming up next week. And we are going to start off with Stardew Valley part number 55. And on this episode, we got all kinds of interesting things. In the mine, we find this rock that we kind of figured we could break with that beautiful golden axe. We find this little guy over here, and his name is simply Dwarf. And you have to tell me about this beverage you call milk. He's a very interesting fellow. Then the dwarf can sell you all kinds of things, bombs and things that you could use in the mine. But he also sells this rare crow. We're trying to collect all 8 of them. I'm not sure how many we have, but I think today would be the day to buy one. Also, there's a weathered floor recipe, and that's the one I've been talking about, that we're going to replace the cobblestone walkways outside. We're going to use this on the farm everywhere. So I went ahead and got that recipe so that eventually we can use that. Next thing you know, there's a train passing through Stardew Valley. We run up there and look at this train. It's very different. This is the one in the winter, and it actually has gifts showing in the train itself. And it's so I always go to the very end of the tunnel on the right hand side where the train is disappearing through, because it drops things all along. When it drops things all along here, and I always stand right here, and then I'll run along the tracks and look for things it might have dropped. If you've watched all previous episodes of Stardew Valley, for some unknown reason I've had the worst luck with the trains. Most of the time I get absolutely nothing from the train when it goes by and it's done. So I was really hoping this time maybe we would get something. Again, in my big playthrough, I got all kinds of gifts, but this one I didn't know what's going to happen. So when a train stops, I take off and I run, and to find out what I get, you'll have to watch the full episode to see what I got. Come on. We go to the night market, and this time we're going to take the submarine and go fishing. So it costs you 1,000 gold to take the submarine fishing tour. It's a deep sea fishing tour. So you say yes, and the submarine starts submerging, and you can see the bubbles as it's going down. So it's kind of cute and interesting. And then when you get to the bottom, this big door or window, or I guess it's a door, is going to open, and you can start fishing in the deep sea fishing experience. Now, I want to mention that time is constantly passing while you are here, so you got to keep an eye on your time if you don't want to get in trouble before bed. So to see what we caught on our fishing trip, you got to watch the video. I'm not going to show you what I caught. This is a preview. I'm not going to tell you all the big things that happen. Keep in mind that you do have to go back up to the top again. So you got to allow time to be able to get all the way to the surface and to get back home. So you got to keep an eye on that so that you don't pass out. Next up is Kinseed part 11. And Kinseed is so much fun. And right now I'm checking my employees at my shop. I've been paying them 1 brass per hour, but it looks like they're still not happy. So I'm going to set their expected pays, which really cuts into my profit. But I think that maybe a change might help their attitude so they're not all mad at me all the time. Lots of things can play into their attitudes. Pay is now one of them. When I first started, it didn't matter, but now it does. Also drew today, so we are going to make our offerings. At the evening times, I also come back and I check how we did at the apothecary, see if there's anything I can make. When I get home, I got an account summary for the apothecary. I made profit of 46 and reputation is 658. So you're gaining reputation. I'm making at least some kind of profit. I also decided the next morning to come back and see if I can reduce these hours. I'd rather be open 9 to 6. I think that's more than enough. Plus it doesn't overwork my employees so much. That's another thing that can affect their happiness. So I'm kind of just cutting them down a little bit and seeing, kind of playing with that a little to see if it's going to help. And hopefully it does. And also working on their friendship levels. So I'm trying to catch them when they're in the shop and give them gifts to see if that helps at all. So again, I'm just kind of playing around with this, trying to see what works best. And I don't know. I've seen lots of people try different things. Again, I'm not an expert on all this, but I'm just trying to figure it out, kind of like everyone else. And I did make a mistake there. I've got, unfortunately, 12 to 6. I've got Lucy working 12 to 6. I do figure this out later, I think, and come back and change it so that I don't have Lucy working too many hours straight. because that definitely makes them unhappy. I get home and got a letter from John Bowes, and he talks about he's in love with Lucy Arrows, and he doesn't know if she has interest in him, though. He's a lowly woodsman at heart. And so I thought this was an interesting note we got. Next up is Stardew Valley Part 56, and we're going to go purchase a new baby goat. It was suggested that one reason I don't have goats having spontaneous pregnancies is because I only have one, which it's silly because we're not a male or female, but whatever. I decided to go check it out. It's $6,000 for a goat. So I went to see Marnie, and whenever you buy an animal, you have to select the type of building that the animal goes into. In this case, this has to be a barn, and you can't make a mistake because it goes red. It says, no, I can't put it there, we can put it here. So you click on your barn. The reason for that is you could have multiple barns. And we're going to pick a name for it, but you're going to have to watch the video to find the name. The other thing we work on the 17th of winter is creating this new area right here. So you're going to have to watch the video to see what I do with this area. I'm preparing it for the springtime, and it's kind of a really cool decorative area. And my 11-year farm has this, and I love the look of it, so I'm duplicating it from my 11-year farm, which I've shown you pictures of. We also get a note, information about upcoming event, the Feast of the Winter Star. It's time for the community to come together and think of good fortune we have, and then you have a secret friend that you're supposed to bring a surprise gift for. You have to watch the video to see who my secret friend is. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you want to watch these videos upcoming. The most important thing, aside from you need to subscribe to my channel if you have not done so, is I want you to have a wonderful rest of your day.